let's get on to the next main topic here today. And the next main topic today comes to us from Jen Stuman, who writes, "Hey, John and Rob. Absolutely love the show. Thank you so much, Jen. My favorite movie this year so far has been John Wick 3. I haven't seen Aladdin yet, but I'm really excited for that one. You guys mentioned you expected John Wick 3 to be the most successful one of the franchise, but it just became the highest grossing John Wick film in just 10 days. Why do you think this one has taken off so much better than the previous ones did? Thanks for the show." All right, thanks a lot for the message, Jen. And yes, John Wick Chapter 3, we already talked at length about the fact that it was by far the biggest opening weekend it's ever had. And now it's become the most successful out of any of the John Wick franchise in just 10 days in the box office. Let's just go over and take a look here in context. The first John Wick film, now these are worldwide numbers, domestic and international. The first John Wick film made $88.8 million. The second John Wick film just about doubled it at $171.5 million. And now John Wick Chapter 3, in just 10 days of release, made $182 million. Rob, we are just seeing this thing continue to climb up the ladder, to continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger and more success. I've already talked about how much I love this damn film. Anyway, you see these numbers. Let me ask you two things. Number one, are you surprised by the rate of success it's having? And number two, what do you attribute, where a lot of franchises will do this, we're seeing just John Wick do this, what do you attribute that success to for the John Wick franchise?
Well, I think for a lot of these, I consider John Wick to be, and this is not disparaging at all, a lower budget B movie that's very well made.
That's its heart. That's its heart.
Absolutely. And when these movies, these aren't the movies that, say, mass audiences necessarily turn out for at first. But what happens is, once they finish their theatrical run, they go on to streaming services, they go into basic cable, or they go on to, I still love my physical media. and people who hadn't seen the movie see these movies. And the people that might not have known how good they are. And remember, these movies aren't playing necessarily everywhere, depending on how many theaters they're getting. So there's places that didn't even get John Wick at a theater near them because the movie wasn't big enough to begin with.
Right.
And so the ancillary markets allow people to see these films that wouldn't normally see them, and yet there are people that are interested and would like them, and they see them, and it develops a reputation. The same thing happened if you look at the box office of the first Terminator, which came out in 84, and then Terminator 2, which was 91, I think?
Somewhere around there.
91. Well, Terminator 2 was the first $100 million movie. They invested $100 million into making it, and it was made very quickly. They did that because they knew, because of home video and cable, that Terminator had a huge audience that was waiting to see more. So Terminator 2 was a huge investment. That's the same thing that happens to John Wick. More people see it, more people get excited, more people like it, more people internalize it. And this is a perfect example of that kind of a movie when everyone's excited. Who doesn't want to see John Wick now?
And I think it's a great... You know, we often talk about cautionary tales. This is, an optimism tale?
It is.
An optimism tale that if you make your franchises with quality and you continually to make good, and I know everybody tries to make good movies, I understand that, but if you do continue to make quality films that people enjoy and want to come out to, there is a long-term effect. Not only will you get more box office for this movie because there'll be more word of mouth and everything, but you lay out the groundwork for future success because you're getting all these people who are loving this movie. So when you put out the next one, hopefully it'll come out, and we're seeing this. This is why I think Shazam was still a big win for Warner Brothers. Like, it barely broke even. It made a tiny bit of money. So yeah, it could have made more money, absolutely. But I believe Shazam is going to pay off for Warner Brothers down the road because the critics really enjoyed it. The fan scores have been really good. Maybe they didn't get all the money for this movie, Shazam, but I think they laid the groundwork for future, and that's the kind of example I think we're seeing in John Wick. So good on them. I hope they get more success and bring on John Wick Chapter 4.